Hey friend, Michelle Dennis Evans here. Welcome to Creator to Write, where we turn blank pages into finished work. You'll be encouraged, inspired, and learn practical strategies to move forward with your writing, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your craft. And if you're looking for ways to support your creative work with an additional income stream, I'd love to chat with you. Please reach out on social. Now for today's episode. Today, I have with me the lovely Alexia Macken. Welcome to the show, Alexia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you
This is
tell
an
us?
honor.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I had an academic career and a passion inside for being creative, and it wasn't until I retired that passion started coming out. So I've been involved in both writing and art. And so for one of my books, I have been the illustrator. It was fun.
I recall you telling me that at the showcase. And what made you first want to write?
I think the desire has always been in me. As a kid in primary school, I loved composition class. And I was usually one of the first to finish and always in the top 5 in terms of, the marks that we got. I just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I've always had this desire, one day I'm going to write a book. I had
Yeah.
no idea what it was about or anything like that, but one day,
One day, and the day has come. So
the
tell
day
me, you've got 2 books published. Who
I
do you?
do. So the first one is called Help, I'm a Mum. This one is aimed at new Christians and new mums. And it's a practical book that combines motherhood and discipleship. One of the things that I saw growing up in the church was that there were many, many children who were leaders and pastors' children. And once they got out, 17, 18, out of school, out into the world, they left the faith. And I was left thinking, why? What's going on? And having my own children, I have 5, I thought, I don't want this to happen to my children. But it did. And so again, why? What's going on? So I thought that it was enough to have a Christian family and send them to a Christian school. And it wasn't until we stepped into learning about discipleship that I realized it's not just the Christian family, it's discipleship, training them in the ways of God. And it's little things. And sometimes there's not much difference between having a Christian family and discipling, but discipling is more purposeful,
Mm-hmm.
if I can say it that way. So it was out of that book was born.
Ah, perfect. And your other book, who's that one for?
This one is called The King's Carriage, and this one was written for upper primary. So it's a self-read book, and this is the one that I illustrated just at the top of every chapter heading. I've done a little drawing. I was inspired for that book by a prophecy that Bill Britton gave many years ago. Bill Britton has passed on. He's one of the first prophets that I ever knew about. And from this prophecy, I guess it was just revelation. I just woke up one morning and I thought, I want to turn that into a story for children.
Mm.
And so I wrote to America, contacted Bill Britton's daughter, and she graciously gave me permission to do that. And so then there was a lot of researching about horses, because I know nothing about horses. And that book was born.
Okay, so you've written for 2 different age groups.
I have.
Do you feel boxed in by either of them, or do you feel free to write whatever you want next?
Oh, I'm totally free. I've got
Awesome.
another book that I am in the process of writing. It's not a Christian book. Actually, I've got several. But this next one, it's a poem. So the whole book is in verse, which for me is a challenge, but it's to help early readers. So it's for preschool and grade 1 children, just teaching. And that came out of the fact that I was babysitting my 2 grandchildren, and one of them was in preschool and then in grade 1. And so I would have to help her with her reading. And she was just so busy wanting to go outside and play. She would look at the beginning of the word and then just guess the rest of it. It's like, yeah, that's okay. I've done that word. I just had this inspiration. And I said, no, pretend you're a train And every time you see a sound in the word, you've got to step through it one by one by one and, go through all the stations. And it was like, oh, okay. And I saw the penny drop. And on the way home, I had 2 verses in my head already. I had to pull over on the side of the road and write them down before I forgot.
Yes.
That book is going to be finished soon.
Awesome. That when inspiration comes, you need to write it down because I get ideas in the middle of the night and I don't write them down and then they're gone.
Yes, I do too. Except I often have my computer by the bed and I do write them
You
down.
do, you write them down. That's very smart. I need to do that more often. How do you
Yeah.
get from idea through to finished book?
I do what I call a brain dump.
Hmm.
And I dump sometimes at various times. So I'm in the process of writing yet another book, which is aimed at young adults. And it's based largely on when my husband and I were fostering 2 girls when we lived in Mackay and the things that happened while we were fostering them. And so without giving out any more information, it's based on. So when I remember a story, I just go to the computer, write it all down. So when I feel like I've got enough dumped on the page, then I go back and I do my first edit. And so then that's putting things in a sequence of how they occurred or how I want them to occur. And it's looking at a little bit of character development, but I don't really go into that until my second edit. And then I really look at character development and the context in which things happen.
Hmm.
And I do several edits throughout
Yeah.
the book.
Every book needs several edits.
Yes. And when I think I'm finished, there could be improvements, I suppose, but if I keep going until it's perfect, I'll never get it published.
True. You're so
So
right there.
yeah, I've got to
Mm.
accept, I think I've done enough.
We aim for excellence rather than perfection. Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And what do you
Uh,
find the hardest thing about being a writer?
for me, it's the marketing. What happens after the book is published. I'm much rather getting on to writing my next book
Hmm.
because I've got so many ideas in my head. So I just want to write, put them down, get them published. Uh, you market them, but
Yes.
I haven't found anybody else yet to market them. So at some point, I'm going to have to get into that.
Yeah. It is it's a different skill set to writing, working out how to
Yes.
market well. Yeah.
And believe it or not, I used to teach marketing at the TAFE College.
And everything changes so quickly. It's
Yes. Yes. Well, this was before all the social media. So I
Mm,
think that I've just been left behind where that's concerned. And
mm.
I'm not interested enough to get into it again.
Yeah, it's needed though, isn't it? So there's a lot of wannabe writers and new writers that listen to this podcast. What
Yep.
advice would you give somebody who's just starting out?
Start.
Start.
Start. Once you start, a lot of things take care of itself after that. I think one of the big issues is, what's it called? Imposter syndrome.
Mm,
And this happened to me after I wrote my first book. So I wrote it and it was time to send it off to the publishers. And I thought, oh no, I can't do that. And somebody said to me, yeah, but let people see your giftings. Oh no, 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 I can't do that. And then I think that God quickened to me the verse in Matthew chapter 5. I can't remember what verse it is, that says, let your light shine. No, I can't do that. But then I looked it up and it goes on to say that your Father in heaven may be glorified when people see your good works. Oh, right. So he gets the glory. Well, that's okay then. And that was it. Imposter syndrome was over.
Oh,
So I think that a lot of writers, they often don't get started because of imposter syndrome. Who am I? But
mhm,
although I don't have a wide readership already for my first book, I have had feedback from several people where they've really been helped and encouraged, either in motherhood or in their walk with God, in their discipleship. So, and I've had another friend just recently buy 2 copies and give them away as evangelistic tools. So
mhm.
that's a surprise as well. So in one word, my encouragement would be start.
Just start and realize that it is you and it's your gifting, and what we're doing is pointing people back to the Father for His glory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Lexia. I appreciate you coming on the show today. Please remember, the people who are watching, to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to also give you Lexia's details so you can follow her as well. And until next time, we'll see you on the next show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks for hanging around till the end. Please remember to leave a review if you've enjoyed this podcast and share it with a friend. You never know who is wanting to get those words out of their head and into a book.